All right, welcome in. Back first live stream. We just got a mention from I think it was Jacob saying we need to get another live stream going. I forget why. I think he said because we need to fill up the listener league, which does have 3 spots left. Dan, by the way, if we turn it into a 12-team league, I think it's like currently a 14-team league.
Yeah, we definitely got a few spots left, and we got a lot of excited managers in there that can't wait to do a startup draft, myself included. But we definitely want to get the right people in there. So yeah, if anyone watching this is interested in joining our Listener League 2.0, get in touch with us. Join our Discord if you're not in there already. We'll make sure we have the link in the description if it's not already in there. And yeah, just post in there that you're interested in the Listener League, and we'll get you in there. But yeah, it should be a great league. A lot of great people in there. It's going to be a very active league if our first Listener League is any indication. So yeah, we're excited about that. Let us know if you're interested.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Definitely need to fill that out, but glad to get on the stream finally again here. Obviously, we've been pumping out content, a lot of short content today. I was grinding, I don't know, like 4 or 5 shorts talking about, what we're going to be talking about here, basically just in a few seconds trying to say maybe someone's dynasty value, their initial impact. But let's talk about free agency today. First thing, by the way, I would say for Dynasty is it is very easy to get excited about these free agents, certain landing spots, which makes a lot of sense. There is still the NFL draft, which is going to just ruin everything for... that's just what normally happens. Thankfully, this year it's just like not that strong of a running back class, so a lot of these like free agent signings, we don't really have to worry too bad about running backs coming in, like nuking everything immediately, like we did have to worry about last year with all those running backs coming in. But for other positions, it might be a little more difficult. So I would remind yourself before making trades, like when we made that Mike Evans deal, I'm like, oh man, they could still draft like a receiver at the back of the first. So like maybe not like the smartest thing to just jump on and assume that like, oh, Michael Evans wide receiver 1. A good reminder that there's still more to happen this offseason, and there's still more signings to happen. There's still a lot of free agents out there that are decent.
Yeah, there's definitely still potential for disruption to happen, and disruption will definitely happen through the NFL draft. But I do think that with certain free agent signings, you can look at the contract and you can look at the caliber of player, and you can feel pretty confident that these newly signed players with big pedigrees and signing big contracts, I mean, they're going to have a meaningful role. I mean, they didn't just throw all that money at them for nothing. Now, if it's just kind of like, if it's not that impressive of a contract, like, I don't know, Tyler Algier, what was his contract? Like 2 years, 11 million or something like that. That's a guy that still could potentially get nuked in the NFL draft. I mean, I guess maybe
not even anymore because that. Yeah, but I know it's a good example, except for the fact that they're like they just have like 3 running backs there now. So I guess that's probably unlikely, but exactly like Jalen Naylor, who just signed some kind of Diami Brownish contract, getting a little over 10 million per season for the next 3 years. Very interesting sleeper receiver. Getting on that Raiders team is definitely fun, but he's probably like budget Rashid Shaheed for fantasy, which wasn't anything special to begin with, or maybe in that realm. And they're obviously going to bring receivers in through the draft, or maybe a trade, or again, still through free agency. So
yeah, probably, but it is kind of fun just because, at least for the moment, there's some opportunity there, and we'll see what happens with the draft. But yeah, Naylor's always been like a good receiver, so it's fun to see him go to a team where there might be some opportunity. So I think that's kind of fun. I mean, he's a sneaky guy to add off the waiver wire, or if you own him already, you're probably hanging on to him and seeing what happens.
Yeah, he's actually kind of one of the more unexpected names. Like, I didn't even bother sending offers out for him. I knew he's a free agent. I didn't know he was like a sleeper. I did see a few reports about it, but like I still didn't care too much. But I do think that Raiders landing spot is like, I mean, that's the spot for Jalen Naylor. If he's going to succeed, it is just randomly going to be on like the Raiders. I guess like maybe the Titans could have been a similar fine spot. But if you went to like the Niners, then it's like, okay, well, I don't know. There's just too much going on there. He needs to be in a spot where there's like no one. I guess there's
Yeah, I mean, he might be like the de facto wide receiver one for the Raiders right now. I mean,
for
like who
now, yeah.
else there's? I mean, I guess like some people kind of like Trey Tucker, and then they have the two rookies from last year and Jack Bash and Dante Thornton, but they didn't show too much.
I
So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it might be the wide receiver one there.
I'm
So we'll
kind of
see if
like
it lasts.
treating
But
yeah, I'm kind of treating him like wide receiver 1A, 1B with Trey Tucker right now. I'm
yeah,
not even thinking about Besh or any of those guys. Maybe I should be, but I mean, they just feel so dead in the water. Like, give me the new guy coming into town.
yeah, and
Version
by the
of
way, I just
Wheeler.
love that we're starting out the stream, breaking down Jalen Naylor. I mean, this, talk about quality content right here.
Yeah,
So, this is why people tune into Dynasty Savvy for those deep
that's
cuts
right.
right off the rip.
That's right. I did manage to leave him and honestly, some other names. I did leave a lot of names off of the free agency video that we put out, talking about we're going to be signing, but it was for the sake of time, and I don't think anyone wants to hear me talk about Jalen Naylor and guys like that. But let's move on to which is like probably the biggest fantasy impact of all today. It's got to be Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. Like, uh, what what are your like immediate reactions with Kenneth Walker? And like maybe you can even talk about a little bit about redraft too when we're kind of talking about signings, especially on a big signing like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like honestly, Kenneth Walker, I mean he could be at least probably a top like 16 fantasy pick off the top of my head in like redraft right now if they were drafting.
Yeah.
He's definitely not outside the top 2 rounds. That is for certain. Maybe top 16, top 18 for sure. I
Yeah.
would guess. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he just continues to rock it up. I mean, the ascension ever since the Zach Charbonnet injury has been unbelievable. I mean, the Seahawks go on the Super Bowl run. Kenneth Walker gets those island games. Everyone's watching him, and he's just goes on a tear. Super Bowl MVP, and now lands on the Chiefs. I mean, like you couldn't have like written this any better if you were writing this up for Kenneth Walker. So, yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm not sure if I can ever remember like a running back gaining like this much value between like, kind of end of the regular season to, free agency. It's been unbelievable. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think you're taking him in the first couple rounds of redraft. And yeah, in Dynasty, I mean, his value is on yet another level. It's already been going up and now it's like, I mean, I listened to the short you created. Great job on that, by the way. And yeah, you were talking about, I mean, could you get like 2 firsts for Kenneth Walker at this point? Like, I don't think it's crazy. I mean, not everyone's going to pay that, not every league. But it could be on the table. I mean, I just saw Kenneth Walker moved in a league. I don't know if I should mention the managers or not. I'm sure they don't really care. But basically, it's the King of the Hill League, and Randy traded Kenneth Walker to Joey, and Joey basically just paid the 103 for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. I mean, people are doing that, right? We made a deal 104 for James Cook, so like at least for right now, all intents and purposes, the 103 to 104 don't feel too much different. So like that doesn't surprise me that I said in the short, Kenneth Walker right now is just like a younger, basically version of James Cook and Jonathan Taylor. Now you can argue, okay, well I think those guys are better. Well, at least Kenneth Walker's younger, so they're all good, really amazing running backs in good situations. They're in a similar age bucket, and we've seen what Kenneth Walker can do when given the opportunity. I mean, what a freaking season he had, because like, I mean, that is at least the one good thing when you have like a solid asset in Dynasty, like a really talented player, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, there was not like any trade demand for him, and you can't start him, but like you could still get him in deals and stuff like that for like around that late first mark, even when he's like completely useless. So
yeah,
it's a good reminder when you're like making trades of like, I don't know, like maybe for the future. I'm trying to think of like who's a player right now. I would say a guy like maybe like Travis Hunter could be applied to. It's like if you trade away Travis Hunter right now for a peanut, like, well, any day BTJ could be moved, and then you're like, God damn it, man! Like now Travis Hunter's like a Pro Bowl, whatever receiver on the Jags. Things can change very quickly. It's just like I guess a good reminder of like of talent with Kenneth Walker this past really rough year and then bouncing back. What a offseason it's been for him. Very excited for him, and I mean I would say it's been kind of terrible process by me to like be like interested in him buying him, but got lucky. So and I was worried about ETN getting that Chiefs landing spot or landing back in the Jags because I don't have any ETN. And I don't know if you want to say anything about Kevin Walker, but another big winner that's kind of directly related uh, is Michael Tootin,
Yeah.
who's secured that backfield. I was a little worried about Rico Dowdle going there, who just signed with the Steelers. What are your thoughts on Michael Tootin?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to believe that he's going to be the starting running back for the Jags. I mean, I'm still kind of skeptical of that. I mean, not only do we still have the NFL draft to go, but I mean, we still Tootin still has to survive the rest of free agency. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of like how many good running backs are even left at this point in free agency. So maybe it's just mainly the draft at this point. Because yeah, I mean, it does seem like most of the big name running backs that were free agents have already signed. So I don't know. Maybe more of a victory right now for Tootin, but either way, he still has to survive the NFL draft. And I don't know. It still just seems like almost like too good to be true
It
that
definitely
Tootin
does.
could go into the go into the season as the starter. Just being so unproven. It just I want to think that's the case, but it just seems too good to be true, doesn't it?
It definitely feels like because I actually didn't really expect Tootin. I just expected them to bring back ETN. It just seems like such a safe move by
Yeah.
a new GM. But then I guess it makes sense. I mean, James Gladstone was pitching Tootin while trying to get the job. Like I don't. That's such a random thing, but that's what. I mean, that was part of the hype on Tootin is the fact that Gladstone loved this guy. So it is very interesting that right away, even with a solid season from ETN, especially just like on paper, accumulated a lot of stats. Tootin was really their goal line guy, their short yardage guy, was extremely successful in those situations, and maybe they do trust him to kind of carry that bulk. Again, I do think that there was rumors of Rashad White. He could still easily go there in the draft. They could bring a solid guy in. Obviously, there's not like many like great options that like I'd be too scared about. I mean, I saw a tweet today saying like basically like Tootin would be the RB2 in this class behind Love as a prospect, which makes sense because Tootin was actually a phenomenal prospect. So it does feel a little too good to be true. Just the fact that we haven't seen anything from Tootin like ever in fantasy, other than that one
Yeah.
game where he was kind of lighting the house on fire there. But very excited for him in Dynasty. The only issue is you probably like need to pay a late first for him like easily, like this year's class. Like I don't know what his price would be, right? Like wherever that RB2 price is going in this draft, you might need to pay that for him now,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. He's the starting running back right now for the Jaguars.
Yeah. And yeah, you did mention Rashad White. So yeah, that's certainly one running back that still hasn't signed yet. So I guess that would be like some danger. I mean, what if we found out tomorrow, like Rashad White signs a 2-year, I mean, I don't know how much he would get, $9 million contract, $10 million contract with the Jags. What are you saying at that point? Like, what would that change for you?
A huge win this offseason. I mean, just avoiding ETN. Like basically avoiding
Yeah.
ETN and
Yeah.
avoiding even like Dowdle and stuff like that. If it's Rashad White, okay, like it's sure I'd rather there be nobody there, LaQuint Allen, but I've always
Yeah.
been expecting someone like Rashad White to land there for Tootin. So I
Mhm.
think this is pretty awesome for Tootin right now. Again, he's still got to survive. You just never know what's going to happen throughout the draft and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
I would say there's probably no way right now if someone someone had Tootin and you're looking for a running back, instead of wanting to draft one at 110 or something, like I feel like if you sent the 110 right now, like no one is like sending that with like how much people are like definitely not like the 112. Like people are like crapping on those picks. I would imagine you have a very hard time getting guys like Malik Willis, Alec Pierce, and stuff like that for that true like late 112 right now. Like, what are your thoughts on that for like a price check I don't know, I got like Tootin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Like in most leagues, like right now, with Tootin kind of surviving at least like day one of free agency, and like most of the running backs have signed, you sent out the 112 for him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, things can definitely change quickly, and I do feel like Tootin is one of those players that people just seem to like. He's just so fast and explosive, and great situation. He's got the upside, the potential. He just seems like a player that people would be scared to trade away because it's like, what
100%.
might I be missing out on? What could he turn into? What value could he gain? What could his production be this year? So yeah, if that was in my inbox, it'd be like, oh man, like, I should probably take this, but gosh, I don't know, So especially if you need running back, because you're thinking, well, if I actually am making this pick, and I wanted to take a running back,
Yeah.
would I even get a running back who is shooting and in as good a situation? So, yeah, I don't think that's crazy right now. So, yeah, I don't know if I've had a chance to like fully process it. But yeah, I think you're kind of right. I mean, I think a lot of these players that were kind of like on that threshold of they were kind of like worth like an early second, like give or take.
Yeah.
Now that they've like either signed a big contract in free agency or landed with a better team, better situation, or maybe they just survived competition signing, or maybe their competition left, like as is the case with Travis Etienne. Whatever improved their stock, I think now a lot of these players are at least firmly in the conversation of like, yeah, if saw a trade has been completed in one of your leagues, and Alec Pierce or Tootin or Malik Willis is like moved for a late first, you're really not blinking an eye. It's just like, okay, yeah, I get it, I can see that. Like, it's really not crazy at this point. Whereas before, it would have been seen as a little bolder.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think someone actually in the startup I was doing, Tootin went like yesterday before the whole free agency started, and I think he even went ahead at like the 111 or 112. Like, so I mean, that's a whole
Yeah,
other story
like in
because
startups, that seems to be the trend where you see these like values that never translate over like the second the startup draft ends. So I think that's part of it. I don't think it's completely translatable to just like normal dynasty leagues
exactly, yes.
outside of startup. But now I think with after day one of free agency, like now like we might be at that point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And actually, by the way, I think even funnier, like someone took like Algier, like around like the 112. Like, I mean, it just
I mean,
shows
it's
how crazy.
crazy what happens in startups, and I mean that's also the beauty of it, because there are just so many opportunities to take advantage of that value, because you'll see people make these selections where like the second the draft ends, they would like never send that trade. They would never
Yeah,
pick
exactly.
Tyler Algier. They would never send the 112 for Tyler Algier, but yet they're choosing
Not
Algier
even
over the
close.
112 at a star. But it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, that's what I love about startups.
Yeah.
Welcome Griffin Smith, who asked where Devin Lloyd would end up, and if you, it sounds like you're new here, Griffin. We're more of a fantasy dynasty channel, and that's what we're talking about today. But if you don't play that, I wish I could give you actually a landing spot for Devin Lloyd. Definitely won't be with the Vikings. I saw they re-signed their middle linebacker. Would you got any takes on Devin Lloyd, the Jags? Inside linebacker.
I'm sorry, I don't. I haven't run league, individual players.
Yeah. Do you have him?
So yeah, I feel like I should maybe be a little bit more tuned into that. But yeah, Lloyd is not on my IDP team, so yeah, I can't speak too much to that. I'm just so hyper focused on the fantasy relevant players that like I'm just like embarrassingly ignorant sometimes on really good defensive players.
No, honestly, saying now, since doing, especially jumping in a dynasty, I used to know a ton about every NFL player, defensive player. I am so zoned out on defensive players when it comes to, especially just the guys that are not like the complete superstars. Devin Lloyd, I thought there might be some connection to the Giants. I saw that they ended up with like Tremaine Smith, I think, from the Bears, who got cut, but wish we could give you a better answer on that one, Griffin, but welcome nonetheless. And if you like fantasy, definitely stick around. We also got Randy and Jacob in here. So what's up, Randy?
What's up, guys? Good to have you here.
Yeah, Jacob saying Steelers made splashes. While not really making splashers. Bummer. That sounds like the most Steelers offseason ever, man.
Hey, to steal Jacob's phrase, and the crowd goes mild.
The crowd definitely goes mild. What do you think about that, Jacob? And I guess we can talk about it here while we wait for him to answer is about Michael Pittman. You know, what do you think? That's just the most Steelers thing ever. I'm just like so unexcited about that. Yeah, Michael Pittman's a good receiver, but man, oh man, I don't know that I just could care less for fantasy.
Yeah.
In real life, will be a much bigger impact, of course, for whoever their quarterback is. I mean, at this point, it better be Aaron Rodgers, or I don't know who you're getting. Ty Simpson. Good luck. Good luck with that. So.
And it also muddies the waters with DK Metcalf, who I was just starting to kind of like a little bit as like maybe a sleeper this season, you know, thinking like, okay, wide receiver one and the Mike McCarthy offense, you know, that's got a good history to it in terms of being like hyper targeted. And then now you're bringing Pittman there, like who's even like the wide receiver one now. So yeah, it's just kind of a gross move. And, you know, in every, you know, whichever way you get it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely gross for a situation for fantasy. We just saw DK Metcalf get traded for literally peanuts. I don't know if you saw that deal in the one that we co-managed. He got traded for like K Dotton in there. So,
Oh, God. Oh yeah, that. And
there's
I
something
saw like
else
Jack Besh was thrown in.
Yeah, Jack
and,
Besh.
You know,
It's
we had
like,
just given Jack Besh to the manager for
Literally
free, and
free.
it's like, oh, now you turn that into DK Metcalf. So
yeah,
funny.
yeah. No, I mean, that's how we're feeling. Yeah, Griffin is saying Anthony Richardson to Pittsburgh, and that is a name as well as like Tyson Bagent still to keep an eye on for quarterbacks. That could come out in a trade because I mean the quarterbacks are really drying up. There's basically just Kyler Murray. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is still sticking around. It really sounds like, and there's Daniel Jones, of course. My read on it is Jones probably goes back to the Colts, though that is not for certain. And then the Vikings end up with Kyler Murray. By the way, his childhood favorite team. So that would be pretty awesome for the Vikings, I would think. Just get a free Kyler Murray year.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that, where you think these quarterbacks are going to end up?
I mean, yeah, I'm so fascinated by a lot of these quarterbacks left. I mean, not like the biggest like household names or anything like that, but just names that we've been like stashing in Dynasty, like Mason Bajan and Tanner McGee and there are a bunch of other ones. But yeah, I mean, speaking of the bigger names though, I mean, I would love Kyler Murray in Minnesota. I mean, at least for Kyler Murray. I mean, hopefully it wouldn't be, you know, too horrible for Justin Jefferson and Addison. But yeah, I mean, great weapons for Kyler Murray. And I mean, it's a situation where quarterbacks have been very successful outside of JJ McCarthy. And I just really think Kyler Murray, if there's any hope for him, I mean, he's a guy that could really benefit from a fresh start, a clean slate, a new environment, change of scenery, you know, whatever cliche you want to throw at it. But I think it's true. I mean, I think sometimes you just need that change. I think that could potentially be really good for him. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be like some like massive hit in Minnesota, but like, I mean, I was kind of saying during last season when like Kyler Murray was benched, and it wasn't even like my original thought. I mean, I think someone else had said it, and I was like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. But basically, just that Kyler Murray could like really be like that next like Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, you know, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, you know, the long list of quarterbacks that have rejuvenated their careers. And yeah, that could really be coming together. If he lands in Minnesota, like you could not ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, I mean, for dynasty purposes, it sucks because it's like still priced there, but I still think he's a good price. Sitting, I mean, he's like late first in there, and yeah, if you go to the Vikings,
I mean, a lot of cases you're not even having to pay a late first for him. I mean, I actually just sold him in a league where I didn't need him for like 27 second and like 2/3, and yeah, maybe I could have like waited, and you know, he signs with Minnesota, then maybe I could have gotten like a late first, but I don't know. I mean, I've never seen him move for a first yet. I think he could get there though. But I still think, you know, I know the window might be closed soon, but I still think he's pretty attainable.
Sorry, man. Mike's going crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's a thing. Like, it's more like the managers that are like the Kyler managers, I feel like, is why he's not getting traded. I feel like they're more just kind of coping with his value. That's kind of what I'm doing, like Kyler Murray. just try to keep him, like on the roster, trying to pray that he is the next Daniel Jones.
Right.
Because like I definitely don't want to trade him away for like peanuts.
Yeah.
But I gotta go test that out. I gotta go see if there's a market for Kyler Murray, if he's attainable, because I would love to get him on some teams, especially some teams if I need a quarterback at all, for sure.
I mean, you better do it soon. I mean, because he could sign with the Vikings or somewhere tomorrow, and then boom, like that window's shut, and he might be very hard to get without sending a late first at that point. So yeah, I would send offers sooner than later, and I'd probably put a very short. That's one of those trade offers on Sleeper where you definitely got to put the timer on it, like maybe not even 24 hours. You got to put like end of day. I mean, you got to really manager.
Sorry, I'm having mic issues or camera issues here.
Okay.
I'll let you take the show here for a second while I figure out.
I'll catch up a little bit on the live chat here. I'm not sure how many people we got in here right now.
We actually got quite a few people sitting here, 10 to 15.
But yeah, hey, great to have all of you guys here. Thank you for joining us. And let's see what we got here. I'm trying to see where we left off here in the live chat. Griffin Smith. Okay, yeah, we were talking about Lloyd and here. Sorry, just gotta get like a better view here of the live chat so I can read this. Okay, here, better now. Okay, yeah, we read the oh yeah, Jacob says, yeah, Pittman ruins DK for fantasy, which is super lame. Yeah, totally agree with you, Jacob. It got Augie in here. Welcome. He says, had to get DK off my team. Not my proudest trade, and with a crying emoji. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Kate Houghton.
Good timing on that one, as we had to just talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he moved him at the right time. But I mean, if the prize is Kate Houghton and Jack Bash, I mean, good luck to you, Augie. I hope it works out. Hey, crazier things have happened. I mean, Otten did sign with the Bucks, so I don't know. I guess that's kind of neutral for his value. So I don't know.
By the way, we did miss a comment, so I hope Han Sammy is still here.
Okay.
But he said, "What are our thoughts on the true trade value of Ashton Genty and Superflex?" Yeah, I know that you're massive on Genty. I would say it's like it would feel impossible to get to him. I think we did just send an offer out for Genty. In the other league, but we didn't even like send one originally because I didn't even want to like try to get Genty off you. I'll let you answer that one first.
I mean, as a Genty owner, I mean, if I'm not getting basically like the equivalent of 3 firsts, I mean, I'm probably not even really like entertaining it. And I mean, I don't know if that sounds extreme. I mean, I don't think that's too much in the market at this point. I mean, especially with the way the Raiders are trending up. I mean, I feel like I was already like basically before, the Raiders got Kubiak, and it became clear that they're going to draft Mendoza, and everything's looking up for them. It was pretty much like already there even before that. I feel like the market is kind of like caught up to me now. I mean, not that I'm like the only one that liked Genty before, of course. I mean, a lot of people did. But in terms of his actual market value in Dynasty, I mean, I feel like it's pretty much there now. I definitely don't see him move very often. I think that definitely speaks to just how much he's valued by managers, and no one that owns him like wants to move him. I mean, he's one of the toughest players to trade for right now. I mean, I think you can make a very good argument for him over Love, over the 101. I mean, I guess I could kind of get into a philosophical discussion on. The pick is worth more than the player you would take there, whatever. But either way you slice it, absolutely love Genty. I think it's pretty solidly 3 firsts. I mean, what do you think, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like 3 firsts, because I always say I'm not like, I don't like not the, but like 3 firsts of like assets, like not like literal firsts. Like okay,
it doesn't have to be like 3 future firsts or whatever. Actually, technically, maybe it could be like a player worth like 2 firsts, and then like a future random first or whatever.
Yeah, the offer we sent you was like George Pickens, who's like floating around 2 firsts, Harvey, who's been floating around late first, but obviously is like, can you get a late? I mean, you probably get a late first from now. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you think about like the Dobbins signing. Like that kind of felt best case scenario for him because there could have been like ETN, K9 guys like that coming in. but obviously Dobbins is still not nothing. And then we tried doing like a more something swap as like a bonus because DJ Moore Bills. So like we were trying to get to that 3.
Yeah,
First
and I
range.
guess you weren't like too far off of that. I mean, of course, like the first thing I saw when I looked at that offer, I was like, oh, it's all the players Blake wants to get rid of. That Blake wants to
That's
sell.
why we didn't. Yeah, that's why I didn't send it to you in the
Yeah,
beginning.
exactly.
Like,
And I got that. So that's why like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain about it because like I was the one like, hey, like send me an offer at least. So like I'm not gonna then criticize that, okay, you offered all the players that you're trying to get rid of. And it's not to say that like all those players are bad or anything. But yeah, I mean the way I looked at that offer, we were also having to give up Pearsall. I don't know. I go back and forth on Pearsall. I mean, honestly, like I don't think there's that much difference between like Pearsall and Harvey. I can like cross off. I could even argue I might prefer Pearsall. I mean, I'm not like in love with either of them, to be honest. So the way I looked at that offer is like it was basically for George Pickens and DJ Moore. And I mean, I guess some people are probably maybe sending a late first in at least this class for DJ Moore at this point, and Pickens is probably around like 2 first, even if I think that's probably a guy you should be selling at that price. So it was, you got to squint a little bit, but you could talk yourself into that being 3 first. But yeah, didn't feel great, even though you kind of met the asking price, sort of.
Yeah. So short answer. I mean, that's the long answer. The short answer: Han Solo with no Olo. By the way, that's why his name's so confusing. So, and welcome, by the way. It's first time here because I would definitely remember that username.
Welcome.
But Han Solo. Yeah, the short answer is 3 firsts in assets, and again, asset firsts are like different from like actual firsts. There's no way I'm thinking about sending 3 like 27 firsts, even if they're like projected late for. I mean, really, just like any player. I just don't think that's a good idea at all. But again, if you got a guy like George Pickens floating around that too, maybe it's a guy like it doesn't matter. There's a bunch of players with a late first. You add something on like that, boom. Like I think that's his trade value. So I mean, if you are the Genti owner, my advice, if you wanted to know his price, you want to have an idea of what you would sell him for. Definitely, don't be too eager to sell him unless you need to multiply. And be very picky of like, okay, I want a 27 first, and I want whatever, some veteran running back worth a first, Josh Jacobs, and I want a receiver worth a first, like whatever it is. Like I want to be trying to get a pick and players I like that are worth first.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to just like hand me George Pickens and RJ Harvey and be like, yeah, like I guess that's like 3 firsts. Like those aren't the deals I want to do.
Yeah.
I would avoid stuff like that. Like make sure you're the one creating
cherry picking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to cherry pick those players. I 100% agree. And that's probably why that offer didn't feel great. It's not that you didn't meet the price, but it wasn't the player I was looking for. I mean, it's players that, in my mind are probably more likely to lose gain value. So it's, you want to cherry pick those players that you like, believe in, you think will either be productive or maybe even have potential to gain value, hopefully. So yeah, you really want to be very selective about what assets you get for Ashton Genti.
Yeah, and we are talking about Superflex, Han Solo, as you were just saying in the clarifying in the comments, which is good to know for sure. And yeah, that's what we're always talking about on here. Probably should clarify that more because there are people that play like non-Superflex. There's probably like a lot of people. Yeah. But I feel like the new wave of Dynasty is all Superflex. So like, I don't know. I feel like people just kind of it's just the norm.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think it's the norm at this point. I mean, yeah, maybe there are, I'm sure there are a few 1 quarterback leagues out there, and maybe more than we even realize. But I do think that the Superflex is standard at this point for Dynasty.
100%. And then Jacob was commenting on marginal from going from Gainwell to Dowdle. Mm-hmm. That was just like boo, especially for Dowdle, for Warren. Like, it was such a random like signing. You don't need. Dowdle feels similar. I know like they're not actually that similar at all, but he just feels so similar as like a dynasty asset and like a running back, like valuable value wise, to like Jalen Warren. Like they're just, I don't know. Jalen Warren's probably like more explosive version of Rico Dowdle, but boring landing spot for him. Doesn't help anyone. It's the stupid Steelers ruining everything. They do it with DK Metcalf and Pittman. They do it with the running backs. Terrible. Everything Steelers is bad.
Hey, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return, what would be like the most like Steelers move for them to like sign a quarterback? What do you think? It
Ooh,
would be like really boring in there.
I mean, like, there's a lot of boring options. It could be like Jimmy Garoppolo and
Yeah.
like Carson. I just
Oh,
don't think they could possibly go in with either of those guys. No NFL team would possibly hire those guys. I don't care what the rumors say. Like,
yeah.
why would you go into a season with those guys? So I think they would like have to draft someone. Those would be like my top candidates for boring or Derek Carr coming out of
Oh
retirement.
God, yeah,
That would be like the most. That would actually probably be my answer for most
yeah,
Steeler boring quarterback.
yeah, yeah. I could see either of those.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Geno Smith, but I let Derek Carr win that one because he has to come out of retirement to do it, Jacob. But Jacob's vote is Geno Smith for sure. That's also a very good one. Boo, yeah, that would be terrible. And then Griffin was asking, what's the Mike Evans outlook? Hey, Dan and I just traded for Mike Evans. Dan didn't even know. I sent an offer out, hoping to capitalize on Rico Dowdle being the starter for the Seahawks or the Commanders, like while he hadn't signed, because those were like kind of the two top spots that are available for running backs. He's kind of the only guy hanging there. You would think his agent's making something work. And then we just talked about him going to Steelers, but I left the deal out there and I kind of just forgot about it while I was waiting for Dan to get his thoughts on it. Yeah, Mike Evans. The reason I sent the offer out is, yeah, he's going to be 33 in August. That's never good. So for fantasy, I'm still very excited just to see if we can get one more year of domination out of him. He's very cheap. I'm just like looking. We turned Jaden Reed, who has been our beloved guy, but we kind of just cut ties with him
Yeah,
in the deal, which could be like a terrible decision. But like also, if
I
we get
doubt it. I
one,
mean, he just feels like the biggest roster clogger ever. I mean, like, yeah, sure, there's like a 10% chance that he ends up being something better than that. And okay, maybe the player that we originally liked all along eventually emerges. You know, we've seen him be good
possibly,
before, but it feels more likely he's just kind of a roster clogger. He's just like,
yeah,
rotted on your bench. It's just like, who cares if he's young? If he's just like not even useful for anything, turn him into old productive veteran like Mike Evans. I mean, he might be awesome. I mean, he just feels like the Derrick Henry of wide receivers, and I'm just going to believe that he's going to be awesome at football until I'm proven wrong.
they're the kind of deals that feel counterintuitive. Like, okay, you should be trying to like get the younger guy, and again, they could
Yeah,
age poorly. But like honestly, the value of just like having an auto starter receiver and getting like what Devonte Adams gave last season
right.
versus
Yeah,
like getting what we got from Jaden Reed last year or anything in that realm, like it's just I would way rather have the one season because when that season's over too, you can just like flip them for that player that was unproductive anyways. Like, you know what I mean? It's the whole reason we
yeah,
could trade. Like if we did that deal last year, Dan, we at least would have had Mike Evans to start while he was healthy, and then we could
yeah,
still flip like him into Jaden Reed kind of thing, right? So I just give me the
yeah,
guy that's productive when it says like cheaper players for real
yeah,
life. Awesome landing spot. Brock Purdy needs that number one receiver. Pearsall's really struggled with health. Obviously, the whole shooting thing he can't help. But this past year he struggled with that PCL. Again, still think there's potential for him. But yeah, George Kittle injured. So I think it's a very, very nice signing for the Niners. Was not expecting that at all. So was very excited to see that. Of course,
yeah,
they might bring in a receiver through the draft. Concepcion is one of the top targets or linked guys there if he can kind of fall to them. A bunch of other receivers, though, in that range, like Omar Cooper, kind of Debo Jr. So I love the Mike Evans landing spot. 3-year
yeah.
deal.
Me too.
It's probably like a 2-year deal, but probably has got like a void year or something on it. But that's pretty cool to see today. I was excited about that one.
Yeah, that was a real fun, unexpected one. I really like it, and yeah, I mean, if Mike Evans plays 17 games, like if he, is able to stay healthy for 17 games, I mean, can you not just like book 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns? Like, how is he not going to hit those marks if he plays 17 games? So, we'll see if he does or not. I mean, obviously, you get older, you're a little more injury prone, but I think he's going to be a rock solid start when he's healthy in there.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm gonna bank on. And if you can like get him in Dynasty right now I was basically thinking like if you get him to a mid to late second, like
Yeah,
just don't even sweat it. I'd be willing to do it as long as you got a place for him on your team. You don't need like too much excess on your roster. I wouldn't like recommend it in that case. But if you turn some junk into him, like we were looking at Jaden Reed as some junk. Like he's got no trade value.
Yeah, Jack Bash, Elick Io Manor. I mean, even like a Chimere DK, like, see you later. Like, give me Mike Evans.
I'll throw 100 of those guys and turn them
Yeah.
into like one Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And then go to waivers and try to scoop something up. So 100%. Yeah, I really like that. Tua signed with the Falcons, very timely, because I just drafted Penix in round 11 of that startup, and I was just saying, hey, I'm willing to just take a shot. Who are they going to get? Well, they cut Tua in the morning, and then they sign him. The first thing I see is, I'm like, how can they sign him? He's on the Dolphins. And no, he was cut before I woke up. So
hey, Blake, I've been trying to tell you for a while, like avoid Penix. Like for a while I was thinking, oh yeah, like he might be a sneaky sleeper and everything like that. And then when you were in that startup, I told you to take Stafford over Penix.
Dude, yeah, that'll haunt me. Actually, no.
Wait, Stafford over. I said Stafford over McCarthy.
Yeah. That McCarthy one will haunt me because there's no way now it feels like he's gonna be the starter. But gotta bet on Penix. That will be interesting. I have no idea who will actually start between Penix or Tua. I feel like it's just a complete toss up.
It'll probably be Tua to start the year because I'm not sure Penix is going to be healthy. So obviously it all comes down to how Tua plays. I mean, maybe he rejuvenates his career in the change of scenery, or maybe he sucks and then as soon as Penix is healthy, he goes in there. So you'll probably see both quarterbacks make starts this year. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of whatever.
I did see that Penix was in an interview with Gruden, which gave me some confidence to sign him. He said he'll be good to go for training camp. So.
Oh, really?
Okay. Let alone the season. So, at least a good sign for him returning to try and fight for that job.
Okay.
But 2 lefty quarterbacks. They got to get Dylan and Gabriel in there to complete the trio.
Yeah.
Have all these guys scrapping each other.
Yeah.
Okay. And Augie was saying that he got CeeDee Lamb for Ashton Genty. Oh no, he got Ashton Genty for CeeDee Lamb, but in a best ball league. So there's a. Yeah, I mean, I
better.
love that. Yeah,
even better because I mean, Blake, don't you value running backs a little more in a best ball versus a lineup?
Yeah, yes, because you could like stack the receivers. I'm definitely not like a best ball expert from just being in that one league. I think I'm in one with the Augie actually. I believe I'm in with one with Augie. I think that's where we met. Or actually, I don't know, but Augie's in a league, best ball league with me. It couldn't have been that one because I have CeeDee Lamb in that one, so he must be playing in a couple ones. But yeah, Genty for sure over him. And by the way, I've definitely changed my outlook when we're talking about Genty. I've definitely changed my outlook on running backs because we're not in the glory days where we can just draft James Conner, my favorite guy, in round 11 every year and get the RB1 season out of him or whatever, high-end RB2. Those guys don't exist now in startups. They don't really exist in Dynasty. That's the importance of guys like Tootin. Oh, 1 second. I gotta get a mic. All right, I gotta get my AirPod in here. But he, these Tootin guys are the new wave. Like we need those guys to succeed. The Blake Corums, players like that. So you actually really do have to value these like stud running backs a little bit more when tie breaking because there's a lot of receivers that you can put in to your lineup. There's not very many running backs, especially just like later in drafts or like cheap ones. Like David Montgomery is like the only guy right now like that's still alive in that group. Everyone else is like retiring or completely faded out. There's a big group of like 5 of them. They're all dead.
Yeah, but even like David Montgomery, I mean, he's you still got to pay like a early-ish second for him, so he's not exactly like cheap. I mean, he's reasonable. But yeah, I think what's happening or what happens a lot in these startups, and you see it a lot with quarterback, and I feel like it's happening with running back too, is I really think scarcity kind of creates this like fear of missing out in like the startup. And I think like the quarterbacks and running backs end up going higher than they should. Yeah, but I mean, it definitely feels like running backs are more valuable than ever. I mean, they're like not easy to get in trades and yeah, the guys like Bijan and Gibbs, I mean, they're just like impossible to acquire. Even Genty, Love at 101. I mean,
James Cook and Jonathan Taylor's value right now is through the roof, and like
Yeah.
that says it all. I mean, they're awesome running backs, but yeah, they're early first in trade value. Yeah, those running backs that we feel comfortable with are yeah through the roof. There's just no one down the board, or there's
Yeah,
just
I,
like
I
no
just
depth.
yeah, I just traded Jonathan Taylor in a league. I mean, it's a little shallow, so maybe it makes a little more sense. It's like a 12-team start 9, but I just traded Jonathan Taylor for basically 2 future firsts, and yeah, I was very happy with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to do that in other years. So yeah, running backs definitely are just changing as assets this offseason. Which yeah makes guys like for Han Solo like way more valuable than I would originally give them, because like normally my strategy is not really to care about paying up for the ultra elite guys, because hey, the James Connors and all those guys exist, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, the list goes on, and they're all dead now. So yeah, unless you're gonna bet on those Teutons and you feel really confident in them, yeah, you have to look at the position differently. And even those guys that are kind of expensive, like Harvey and Scatabo and stuff like that, now they're on the block, like they're on the ropes. They might not be starting running backs like we think they are. Uh, yeah, running back is it's going through a little bit of a change right now in Dynasty. Um, and Han was saying how much on top of Jordan Love to get Ashton Genty, um,
Gosh.
and super flex. So, oh, by the way, I think I was like missing this. I think you said this earlier, so like sorry again, Han, if I was like read over that before. Um, a lot. Like it would be a good bit to go from Jordan
I mean,
Love.
I feel like you'd probably need at least like a late first this year and like a random 27 first, probably even get like that conversation started. I mean, maybe that could get it done. I mean, like, what would you think? Jordan Love, the 108, and mid to late projected 27 first. Like, you think that has a chance for
I think
Genty?
that definitely has a chance. Yeah, I think that's the kind of range you need to be in. Like if you were
Yeah,
doing the 108 in Jordan Love, like I don't think you're really in the realm there. You would need a really solid thing like a
yeah,
27 first, even if projected late.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is there any scenario, Blake, where you would send a package like that? I mean, would it have to be a very like specific league or specific situation, or I mean, does that seem pretty reasonable to you? I mean, I feel like generally you're probably more likely to be on the other end of those trades, or is that changing a little bit now, like you were saying, and valuing some of these elite running backs, clinging to them maybe a little more than you would in the past?
Yeah, I would definitely start to change it a little bit again how I would do it normally. Like here's the thing I've noticed about me. I've been way more willing to take the package, like and move off studs. I mean, there was a time where I would just like only want studs and like love the studs, and obviously I
Yeah.
still want the top players in Dynasty, obviously,
Mhm.
but especially on a lot of teams where I'm just trying to like rack up value early on in like startups and things like that. I really like value the package. So yeah, I would
Mhm.
not mind being on the other side of that package. I would
Mhm.
say that like I'll I would feel more comfortable if I already have like a couple solid running backs that I like and I
Yeah.
think are not like very volatile, um, or yeah, whatever, or just a bunch of depth or something like that. Or if I'm getting a running back in the deal, so like a guy like Saquon. Like if I'm going off Genty, like give me a guy like Saquon, give me a guy like Josh Jacobs, whoever the name, Javonte Williams, someone that like I like, or whoever you like, and then
Yeah.
the two first parts on top kind of range. So um, Jordan Love's though worth more than all those guys. So like yeah, you could easily maneuver around and get a running back out of that deal probably. So yeah, I think in
Mhm.
general a package like that, I don't really like have a favorite like I would probably I'd rather
Yeah.
have the package normally, but like I totally get paying for that. So it really just depends on your team, on the league, how many starters there are, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and that really might be like a win-win kind of deal. I mean, maybe it's one of those situations where if you're a high value team and you can afford it, maybe you're looking to do a deal like that. And if you're more of like a middling team in terms of value and you're looking to build up some more value, maybe you're more likely to want to do that tier down and get that package.
Yeah,
So I think yeah, that'd probably be like a fair deal where it just depends on your situation. But I think that's kind of the range you'd be looking at. And sure, like, I mean, if you can replace the 108 with like a RJ Harvey or someone you're trying to get rid of, like even better. It all kind of depends on what the other manager likes. So, try to get the best deal you can. But yeah, it's probably not going to be one where you can just, obviously dump a bunch of crap on people or, I mean, you're going to have to see like what the other manager wants and then see if you can work something within that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I've definitely, I don't know if you noticed that. I before I would not want the getting off in a stud, but I do think there's the way that people are trading now. Like I don't know, it's felt easier to like get off studs for some reason. I don't know why that is, or if maybe it's just like because I'm getting more star 11s as well.
Well, I mean, the reason I've always liked tier down trades is because I feel like I can get the manager's attention because I feel like most people still like tearing up as opposed to tearing down. So if I come in with the best player, and it's like, okay, I'm going to put Bijan Robinson on the board or Jamar Chase. It's like all of a sudden it's like now I control what's happening with this trade. I can pick and choose. Okay, I want this from your team, I want that from your team, and now I can just get it. Whereas before I send offers for these guys, it's like declined, ignored, no counter. All of a sudden, I put the best player on the board. Now I can like dictate things. So that's why I've always liked tear downs, or among other reasons.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the one the one downside is by the way of like I've been like okay, kind of like moving off some studs when I can. It's really hard to get a deal done for your studs. I've noticed a lot of times when I'm trying to trade the stud players, there's just a lot of teams that don't have the assets. They can't afford to do it. So like and managers are like getting smarter. So it's like maybe back in the day you could get a few years ago you could get someone who should not be buying Jamar Chase. You'd be getting like the big payday from them. But like now managers like too smart and okay, they're just like no, they can't afford Jamar Chase, so they're like I don't want him.
I mean, I'll never forget my first big blockbuster trade in Dynasty. It was my first Dynasty league. And ended up winning the championship, but basically turned Cooper Kupp like in his prime, putting up like video game numbers, turned him into Joe Burrow and three firsts. I mean, and that just like made my Dynasty.
Yeah, like you're just not seeing those. Man, I wish I was playing Dynasty like even just like a couple of years before I got in because before it got kind of I don't know like I don't know what you say. I would say it's like a dynasty revolution happened where there's all the content and all of these resources on it.
Yeah,
it must have been just like the Wild West before, and if you were like a smart manager, you were probably just tearing up leagues. Like if you just understood how valuable like picks and all that stuff in depth were.
Yeah, I mean, because like back then, I mean, that was like as soon as I started playing Dynasty, like that's when I really started consuming a lot of YouTube content, just about fantasy football, and then obviously specifically about Dynasty. And I feel like back then, I mean, it really gave me like a huge edge because I felt like, okay, like 95% of managers like aren't watching this stuff, have like never heard of these like strategies and like all this stuff. But like now it definitely feels like a lot more mainstream.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like everyone's watching Dynasty videos or understands more than they would back then. And Han saying if we're bored and want to take a look at the roster, we're more than welcome to. I know that like you're only here for a limited time, but like maybe if you stick around, Han, like I can take a look after, unless Dan you want to. You certainly don't have to, but we could continue talking about free agency, and then I can always circle back around to that. See if I have any advice for him.
Yeah, and actually we are offering roster reviews now. Pretty attractive price as well, $20. And I don't know. I mean, maybe could there be a situation? I mean, Blake, it's not something we've talked about yet, but I don't know. Maybe we could come up with like some kind of way where we could occasionally like give away a roster review. It'd also be an opportunity to kind of showcase that for people. So I don't know. We'll have to like talk about that, but yeah, I mean, there are definitely options out there, and yeah, we did want to promote that anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind taking a look at his roster here and try to build a trade for him there. Maybe a good way to show off, kind of. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean especially if it's not like a full in-depth review or whatever. But what I was talking about is actually we'd make a whole in-depth video just dedicated to your roster and getting into a great place.
Yeah, great to reiterate for especially even the people that have been around the channel because we just put out two things and also what Coda would call insane me insane for. Uh, we're providing also a service we should mention that there's I guarantee you cannot get this anywhere else. So this is the spot, Dynasty Savvy. We will, especially like I don't know, like Dan will definitely chime in, but like I'll definitely commit my time for sure to being in a startup with you, like as your like co-manager, and like making sure you dominate your startup because like that's I don't know, that's always been a strength of mine is just understanding. We were talking about it earlier how people just don't like. There's a lot of value left on the board. People drafting Tyler Algier beside the 112, things like that. Um, yes, if you are interested in startup service, we definitely got you covered. And I think that's a lot of fun. Like personally, we're also there for like dirt cheap. So like if you get on it now, not only will you build a good team, but I'll also talk through all the process. We could try to build the team how you want to still, while like incorporating this kind of like tried and true process into it, and you'll just like understand that for like very I think we were like $30 for the whole startup like that's like not even worth it for like our time, but like I feel like it's like a really fun service and to kind of like connect with the viewers and everyone that wants to do that. So two important announcements for the channel here.
And Blake is absolutely the master with startups. I mean, he's unbelievable. Every time he shows me a startup, it's like, how in the world did you pull this off? You did the ultimate Russian doll recently with JSN, turning him into what, like, right. Multiple 27 first and a 28 first and like a bunch of seconds. I mean, it's just like absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that is absolutely a massive strength of yours. And yeah, that absolute bargain, especially if it's a high money league. I mean, the startup, you're obviously laying the foundation for your team. That would truly be money well spent. So yeah, you'll have pretty much, I don't know, damn near 24/7 access to me and Blake. And yeah, I think it'll be well worth it. And I think you'd be very pleased with the results.
Yeah, like I will never lie to you on the channel. Like that is the most like stupid value ever. But I want someone to do it. Like I want someone to like do it with. And a few bucks we can spend on the channel is nice as well. So if
I mean, we'll probably only be making like a few bucks an hour for either of these services, but we just want people to like, try them out, and we just want to, get it going. So we hope you guys, consider taking advantage of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Han, if you stick around, like I'm more than welcome, or more than happy to take a look at your roster, see if we can cook up a trade if you want to move off Love. Let's keep talking about free agency while you're still here, Dan. Just let me know if you want to sign off.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I need to hop off, which will probably be sooner than later. But yeah, definitely a couple players I would love to talk about.
We got to talk about Malik Willis.
Yeah, we got to talk about Malik Willis. I mean, I'm so excited about this one. I know you are as well, Blake, because, I mean, we both have been extremely high on Malik Willis for, I mean, at least like probably at least, I feel like just speaking for myself, I mean, I always go back to that Ravens game. What was it, Sunday Night Football or whatever? I mean, he just, Willis just looked so awesome in that game. That's when it was kind of solidified for me. And the more I thought about him this offseason and the more we started hearing things, he was just a guy I wanted to get ahead of the market on. I wish I was able to buy more shares, but I was able to get a couple. And yeah, I'm just so excited that has finally come to fruition. He signs the big contract with the Dolphins, I believe like 3 years. I can't remember exactly how many million per year, but looked like a pretty healthy contract. I mean, he's going to be the starter. I mean, I don't know what to think of the Dolphins right now. I mean, they're kind of in flux. They got, new coaching regime in there. So I don't know exactly what to think. But just the fact that he's a starter, I'm just excited for him to get that opportunity. He is absolutely worth a late first now. So if you bought him over the last few months, you got that value increase. And even at that, like, I mean, I'm not like looking to sell him. I mean, I'm excited just to own him, to use him. I don't even mind, like, just for instance, I'm in a league where I have Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Malik Willis. I don't even hate the idea of like maybe just trying to get like a haul for Josh Allen, and I'll just rock with like Jalen Hurts and Malik Willis as my 2 starting quarterbacks. So, and actually, I just acquired him in that league for that flexibility. And so, yeah, now if I can get like a huge Josh Allen deal, like, that's just suddenly a huge boost to my team. So, yeah, absolutely love seeing this opportunity for Willis. What do you think, Blake?
Yeah, he's a complete wild card now for Dynasty. We just put out a short as well saying go buy him before he signs because it's the most predictable thing ever. The second he signs somewhere,
Mhm.
we knew he was going to do it. His value shoots up. So we were already like trying to anticipate that, buy some. I actually got into like a ridiculous amount of Malik Willis. Like I think I got up to 5 shares because I had a couple kind of sitting around.
Wow.
And me and Seb on a team that we had like I had been like co-managing with them as well. I kind of like I don't know. He orphaned it and I like came on with him. We like sold Malik Willis for like it was like convoluted package, but we like, got a first for him before
Mhm.
anything happened like a while back, which I'm
Mhm.
fine with. But yeah, I think that's like his price right now. It's kind of I put a poll on our Discord of like 108 versus Malik Willis because once you get higher than that 108, you're like
Yeah.
it's very like tough to. There's not many like quarterbacks there that are not proven. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put Tyler Shuck above the one like above the 108. I mean, again, you could
Yeah.
argue whatever 108, 109. We don't really know what that is still, right? To be
Yeah.
determined. And I think it was split the poll with a few votes there. So I agree. This like late first, but like I would definitely easily pay like 112 and something if I
Yeah.
needed him. Now, is it a smart decision? That'll be determined once we see the season. Like, I
Yeah.
hate the Dolphins. I don't want to say I hate, but I hate the Dolphins landing spot when he could have went to the Cardinals. Like
Right.
that would have been so much better, in my opinion. But we just never know. I think the OC for the Packers just came from. Or wait, the OC for the Dolphins now just came from the Packers, or maybe it's their head coach. I'm confused. I forget his name. He's not like a big coaching name that I've heard much, but there's a connection to him on the Dolphins.
Okay.
So there's at least some familiarity there. Hopefully that helps Malik Willis out against super small sample size. So I'm very interested in him. But I'm also not willing to I'm also not crossing off like just trying to sell him high. In that startup I'm actively doing, we just took him at 9.6 yesterday. Thought that was a great value,
Oh
and
yeah.
we basically turned him and like one of Jacobs or one of a future 27 first into Jackson Dart, like one of my favorite quarterbacks to buy in Dynasty right now. So like, um, I don't know, like that was already a good flip for me. Like I'm willing to just secure a quarterback slot like that.
Mhm.
And I don't love paying up for running back or quarterbacks uh,
Yeah.
in general. So yeah, I think there's some options. A lot of like I'd be willing to buy Willis. I'd be willing to sell him, hold them. A lot up in the air, but lead the league. If you get him for that true late first, yeah, definitely a buy, and he'll be an awesome redraft guy. I'll be very excited
Yeah.
for him in redraft. Just swinging a dart at him.
Yeah, especially in leagues where passing touchdowns are only worth 4 points. I mean, Malik Willis is just like the biggest, like, no brainer guy to circle on your draft board
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, and hey, this is why we scoop random like quarterbacks that we think are like have
Yeah.
any hope. We're like big on that, and sometimes, well, most of the time it's like we scoop up like Joe Flacco or like Marcus Mariota, and we were getting starts to them in season, and they're
Mhm.
decent starters. But every once in a while, you just get like a Malik Willis. So it's definitely nice to like get lucky on that. And don't overlook those backup quarterbacks on waivers. Don't overlook them in those startups. That's probably like the best thing you can pick up for free startup advice. By the way, is once you're like in, especially just like the mid to late 20s, even the early 20 rounds, whatever, just start looking at backup quarterbacks. Um, there's just a lot of good options out there. You know, like
Yeah.
no one cares about backup quarterbacks. Like you probably should because there's a lot of value
Mhm.
to be had if they just go in and start.
Yeah.
And
And also, like, I know, like, Scott Connor is like a big fan of the strategy. He's been talking a lot about it recently. Of like your quarterback three can basically just be like a handful of backups.
yeah,
And like odds are, you at least there's a decent chance that whenever you're one of your two starters on a bye or miss a game with an injury, you might have a starter amongst these backups just due to injuries in front of those guys. So it can be a little bit a legitimate strategy of just kind of creating that QB3 out of thin air. And if you
yeah.
actually do have three starting quarterbacks, it allows you to sell one of them and turn them into like a good flex player. And then you can just have like, handful of backups be like your QB3 basically.
Yeah, I feel like you do that a lot. Like I've been doing that since basically the start of Dynasty, especially just because like my first year I had a bunch of like tanking teams, so I didn't even like need a bunch of these quarterbacks. So the second
Yeah,
I've turned it like my whatever like started be contending, I've never really cared about a third quarterback ever, and
right,
especially because it's so cheap to just handcuff your starting quarterback to begin with.
right. Yeah,
That like you might as well just do that number one, and hopefully it's not like Kyle Allen's the handcuff or something. Like okay,
right,
maybe I'm like
right.
interested in getting like a lot of nice QB3s then and like handcuffs. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just like try in general just get as many backup quarterbacks and just luck my way into them starting. I've had times where I have only two starting quarterbacks, but I have six quarterback options on 1 week because like Andy Dalton's starting, Joe
Yeah.
Flacco's starting, Mariota, all this stuff. Like once you get in season, you realize like how valuable just like stacking up those roster spots of quarterbacks are. It is extremely valuable. So yeah, I'm actually a big advocate of that. We don't really talk about it much. I rarely have a QB3 like on any of my teams. That's an
Hmm.
actual starter. It's always just like backups or handcuffs.
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, it is a little more common now. I feel like as managers have smartened up,
Yeah.
but I feel like in the old days, or at least like a few years ago, before like Dynasty was like quite as mainstream as it like feels
Mhm.
today, I feel like the consensus opinion was like, oh, you need three starting
You did three,
quarterbacks.
yeah.
You know, it's like, oh wait, you only have two starting quarterbacks. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I kind of feel like Blake, like you and I were like a little bit ahead of the game and thinking like, no, like I don't really care that much about like my third quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, like you can notice that people don't care as much. People definitely
Yeah,
do still care,
yeah.
but I think a lot of people have started to shift to like being okay with it, being comfortable with it, which again I
Yeah.
think is pretty smart. And if you are gonna have like a quarterback three, I don't know, maybe it's like make it like some rookie or just like some high upside guy that's like really cheap or something like that instead of like Derek Carr or something like that. Like when he was starting, I guess I would say Matthew Stafford, and then he goes and puts up the season he just did. But like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have recommended like taking Stafford because he was like useless for the last couple of years before the like MVP season or whatever he put up. So
Yeah.
I'm generally trying to stay away from. Hey, Geno Smith is a perfect example from last year. Normally those quarterbacks just burn on your roster, and you like can't even use them. So uh, just
Hey,
better
Blake,
off.
real quickly before I have to sign off here, we got to talk about my boy, Isaiah Likely. I've been waiting for this for so long. Free Isaiah Likely, finally on a new team. Although I guess the irony is he's still connected to Mr. John
John
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh,
So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, to what degree was Harbaugh responsible for keeping him held down in Baltimore? So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But still, it's a fresh start. Like they still sought him out and signed him. I think what they gave him like a 3-year deal. Forget exactly what it was, but I mean, it was at least a decent contract. I mean, I feel like he should be firmly entrenched as a starter at this point. I mean, I've never been that big of like a Theo Johnson guy. I don't know. I'm sure some like technical person out there would argue like, oh no, well technically, Isaiah Likely and Theo Johnson are going to like play different positions, and Theo Johnson's going to be the inline guy, and Isaiah Likely is going to be more like the slot tight end. Blah blah blah. I don't really care. Like they're both tight ends. I think Isaiah Likely will be the main pass catching tight end, and hopefully it's not just wishful thinking or hopium or whatever, but I have to believe this is finally the opportunity for Isaiah Likely. I think it is a sneaky good landing spot. Wandale's gone. He signs with the Titans, which I do kind of like a little bit. Low key, we can talk about that another time. I still love my boy Wandale,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's gone. That clears out a lot of targets in the middle of the field. Who knows if Neighbor's going to be ready for the start of the season? I feel like the reports on that haven't been like the rosiest. Um, so I mean, there could be a lot of targets there available for Likely. So I'm pretty excited about him, especially in tight end premium leagues. I feel like it's still kind of gone under the radar. I feel like just at the point where Isaiah Likely finally is set free here, I almost feel like people have like stopped caring a little bit. And the news today got so buried, understandably, amongst all the other huge pieces of news involving like really big players. Um, this might be a really under the radar move that is actually like a sneaky good landing spot, and it's something we've been waiting to happen for years now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like no one cares. I mean, obviously people care, especially if they
Yeah,
probably own Likely. But I haven't heard too much hype about it. I think now I own at least likely or two, and like haven't got any. We didn't get any offers from. Actually, I just drafted him in that startup. Like we just drafted him after he signed the contract, which
Oh,
was nice in
nice.
like the 12th round of a two like points per tight end catch. So that's awesome. By the way,
Oh yeah.
Nahal, welcome back, because like we obviously Nahal's
Hey, welcome.
one of our biggest guys here, and we haven't streamed in a while. So welcome in, Nahal, and also Kamex. So welcome in, guys, and also Nahal.
Hey.
Okay, is Nahal in the listener league? By the way, I just want to. Is he in the listener league?
No, he's still not in the listener league yet.
Okay.
I can't believe it. I mean, we had him written down. We penciled in a spot for him. So in the hall, if you still want in the listener league, we got a spot for you. But it's probably not going to be available too much longer. I mean, I would not be surprised if it started to fill up here. But would love to have you in there if you're interested.
Yeah. So let us know on that, Nahal. You don't have to play if you don't want it. I don't think you have played Dynasty yet, but just let us know on that, because I think we reached out to you and we didn't hear anything back. But good to see you in here. And KMX, of course, is already in there. I'll finish up or I'll start, I guess, and finish on the likely. I definitely have to talk through likely and just think about it a little bit. But initial reaction is like, the Giants is like underwhelming, it just sounds really underwhelming. They already have a tight end there, but I think we should still be really excited for what likely can do. Theo Johnson is like kind of good, so like I'm not like a little concerned, but at the same time, like I don't know, I wouldn't be going out and caring about Theo Johnson in Dynasty anymore. He's dead in the water. It's obviously gonna be Isaiah Likely or no one. So yeah, I don't know exactly what to make of it. Regardless, I still just like clicked him easily in that draft, because it's Isaiah Likely. People love him. I don't know if I like him because other people like him, or like if I actually like believe that he's like going to be some difference maker in Dynasty or in fantasy is like kind of like where I'm at right now. Like I don't know. I need more time to marinate here on Likely. Like if he could have went to like the Commanders or something, I feel like I'd be like so much more excited about him. But there's a lot of options. If they could really kind of use them, not like a true tight end, if they can kind of use him and bounce him around the slot, things like that.
Yeah.
Then he sounds really, really good on paper. So, I mean, definitely a guy in that's like a really good late throw, dart throw in those redraft leagues, and a guy in Dynasty, especially in those nice tight end premiums. You should still be trying to go out and get and test the market, right? I mean, I still like, that's the thing, is like he should like probably in a class like this, like the way that's being talked about, be worth that late first. Like I don't think I'm willing to send that still, but
I'll send it in 1.0 tight end premium if I have to. If I have to send the 112 or whatever, I'm okay with that. But yeah, sure, in a perfect world, if you can get Likely without sending that first, like that's certainly ideal. Package some crap together, find all your Chimere DKs and Meshes and Jaden Reeds and but yeah, I mean, if heavy enough tight end premium, I don't hate being a late first. I'm pretty much all in. No surprise there. And hey, I just also realized, Blake, you got a nice little stack there with Jackson Dart and Isaiah Likely. So that'd be pretty fun if that works out.
That's right. Yeah, it's a nice stack. Like I'm just trying to think. I think the best way to describe like kind of where I'm at Likely is like, if I could just get some like even just like projected late 27 first, and I had to add like some Jaden Reed or like 212 or so. I mean, really like even like 208. I would just like, I would probably add more than you'd think to like get that 27 first out of Likely still.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that's if that's getting done. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you find the likely truther like me in your league, certainly you could probably get that done. But I feel like people have stopped caring a little bit, which is kind of strange. Yeah. And yeah, those 27 firsts are just like impossible to wrangle away from people. I should really run here. I gotta wake up for work in the morning. But so yeah, Blake, I don't know if you wanted to stream any longer.
Take a look at Han's team here.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. First of all, I saw we only had 2 likes. Help us out here if you're enjoying the stream. If you're getting any value on it, drop your boys a like here. We greatly appreciate it. Let it hit the algorithm, reach some new viewers and all that. We're still trying to grow the channel. We did recently reach 200 subs, and we are doing a special video coming up. And I think we can reveal it, but basically Blake and I are going to be dressing up as Jerry and George from Seinfeld. So we had voted on that in the original listener league, and that was the choice. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You guys definitely don't want to miss that. So look out for that. Of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I know we have a few new people in here. So yeah, help us grow. And yeah, you definitely want to stay tuned for everything we'll be covering this off season. And yeah, I think with that I will sign off here. But yeah, I mean, we are focused more on videos, but I think as we get closer and closer to the draft, like we'll probably be doing some occasional streams. And I think the turnout today was pretty good. So yeah, let us know if you want to see more of these, if you enjoy the the interaction and everything like that. Yeah, we're kind of doing a combination of everything with the videos, live stream, shorts. So yeah, make sure you're sub, drop us a like, and yeah, I'll leave it to you, Blake.
Sweet, yeah, awesome. I'll transition over here so we can get ready to look at Han's team. So just give me a moment here. And Han, I will take a look at your team through a website is how I'll find your team. And I can look at your league. I'll probably do it on Dynasty Daddy here. So let's change my camera up. It's probably good. All right. Let's take a peek here. And I'll start going through chat again. I just need your username on Sleeper, Han. And then the league name is what I'll need. All right. And then I'll be able to look at everything in the league. Perfect. You got Sleeper. So yeah, just let me know your Sleeper username. But we're gonna do a little bit of a taking a look, doing a trade by the sounds of it for Han here. Yeah, the listener league buy-in TBD. We don't actually have an exact number for it. We're gonna vote on it just to make sure that everyone can kind of like agree on a price. Again, we don't want to make it like too expensive. Of a league, like, normally I'm playing like $100 leagues. Like, I think our normal one is our first listener league is only $30. So, maybe something like that. Whatever works kind of for everyone. All right, let's find Han's team here. All right, perfect. And you're only in one league. How innocent you are, Han. I wish I was still back in the days I'm in the league, but I'm an absolute degenerate now. All right. And real quick, I'll just see what Nahal is saying here in Camex. Keaton Mitchell wasn't re-signed. Yeah, I did see he's about to go somewhere else. Dan's probably excited to hear that. A new landing spot would be nice for him. Probably a few good spots he could land actually for him as well that could actually use him. And that's right, yeah, Camex, you made a great deal trading away JSN for London and 2 firsts. Let's see what else here. Okay, we can give your spot away. You join 2 other Dynasty leagues. You don't know if you can handle 5. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, let us know if you change your mind. But yeah, no worries if you don't want to join. We just want to make sure like you had a spot because we had you written down if you did want to play. Camex is talking him into it. Yeah, Bauer stock seeming to skyrocket today. Raiders made some good moves for sure. Got that Linderbaum, which is a big signing. And hey, yeah, listen to Jacob, who's talking you into getting into the listener league. But don't actually be too pressured. So, all right, let's take a look now. Let's get a little idea on this league first of all. So this is what, a 10-team league here. And all right, just to get an idea on value, we have Han in 4th for value. There's basically just one team at the top. Han's in the the 2nd quartile, and then the rest of the league is in the 3rd, and then one guy in the 4th there. All right, so let's take a look here. Now, we don't need to look too much into the whole starter rank and stuff like that. Like, it's not very accurate. All right. Perfect. Let's go position by position. Let me know any settings that I might not know in here. Like, is this the tight end premium Han, or is it... is there any weird settings? And also let me know how many starters there are. That is very, very important to know how many starters there are in the lineup. So... you have Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, awesome top 2 quarterbacks. And then you even have Shuck and Willis. And you just said you got, Willis for free, probably off waivers. You just had him. That's awesome. First thing I'll say, and we'll get back to this, is one of these quarterbacks got to go, absolutely. Especially with the Willis value now. People like Shuck. One of those QBs definitely need to go. And so that's why you're talking about Jordan Love trade. That makes a lot of sense. So you're already on the right track if you're looking at Genty. My boy Breece Hall, RIP. Definitely a guy you could hold on to. Kenneth Walker, that's awesome. You're probably pumped about that. So those are basically your only 2 running backs right now. Hubbard, TBD. Wide receiver, not too deep here at receiver. You basically just have Jefferson, Rome, Waddle, TBD on Golden. Theo Johnson, RIP. Terrence Ferguson's obviously interesting. So, this is an interesting team. You're kind of... you have your strength at quarterback, and we need to turn this into the rest of the team here. So, very important to look at the picks. Awesome. You have the 103 and the 110. Your wide receiver depth can be addressed through that, so that's good to know. All right, so let's take a look. We were thinking about what to add to Jordan Love for Genty. It's 10 starters. So right away, that's a nice little sweet spot where you can actually, I could be a little more comfortable paying up for a player like Ashton Genty. Once you get in 11 starters or more, it gets a little frisky, having to send away a lot of depth. So let's do Jordan Love. And let's add the 110 in here as well. Again, this is going to depend on your league. If people do not like these 110s, these first, then it might be better just not to try and add them into the deal. Let's right now highlight that 110. Maybe let's actually just throw this into like keep trade cut just to be able to organize the trade out and visualize it here. We're not going to pay too much attention to the value, but it's good to have the visuals. Yeah, if I'm you, I'm wanting to put that 110 in. Again, I think it can raise in value. I see. He has a rough team, but here's the thing. If he has a rough team, he should want to make a deal with you, Han, if he's smart. Again, this could be a good deal for both sides. I definitely want to avoid trying to send away that 27 first. Definitely want to hang on to that. Give yourself some insurance. I'm just trying to think. Like, Breece Hall is not a bad guy to get involved in this trade. But I still believe Breece Hall can kind of like have that Kenneth Walker resurgence we just saw in the last couple weeks here, going from this year into next. Let's see if we can try to make something with Waddle again. We're trying to get you a good deal. You can always alter it to make it seem fit. So who's this Genty guy? Let's just start with a deal like that. Let's take a look at his team. I guess I might have to scroll here because I don't know what team he is. Okay, here he is right here. Scott. Oh boy, yeah, this is rough. You were not joking. My God. When I thought you said rough, like, I don't know if I've ever seen a team this bad. Like, this is tough. I mean, he needs to sell Genti so bad, though. I was looking at someone you could get back in the deal. Good lord, man. Maybe you could get back... Again, I don't know how valuable... I don't know how valuable the tight end premium is. There might not be a tight end premium. But I like Hunter Henry as a guy you can get thrown in. You're kind of weak at tight end. You might be able to rock with him starting. Good lord, man. Anyone in chat that had... Like, this is crazy, man. Has anyone seen a team this bad? No hate to Scott. This is insane, man. There's like nothing to work with here. What I would say is maybe let's just like work on the fact that he has nothing. Let's go back to your team real quick. Maybe we need to try and sell him. I don't want to like, again, I definitely don't encourage like trying to fleece people on this channel. You know, I think making fair deals is the best way to get it done. I definitely do not try to just like rinse people. I think like you could try to like help him out though by like giving him bets on guys like Hubbard, and maybe like giving him a little bit of depth here. This might be like the most rare like 7-for-1 trade. Like actually might help him, because I would never suggest that normally. He's just so down bad. I'm trying to see what else we can get going here. This is tough. Like, yeah, maybe you just like sell. He seems just so bad. He needs to make some deal like this. Like, maybe you just be a nice guy here and like throw 2 in. Again, I'm trying to. He doesn't have much value, but like again, this guy needs to hit the grasp on anything. And maybe we get like Hunter Henry thrown back in or something. I don't know, man. This is very tough. You almost want to like help this guy in the deal so he doesn't like leave the league unless he's like your friend or something. Yeah, you might as well just like throw Reek in this deal if you believe in him. I personally would like trade him for anything. But he can at least get like something out of Reek. This is a very like unusual deal, like in my opinion. So it's a Love, who again is worth clearly over a first. You are throwing that late first in. And nothing in here is worth a first. But you're I don't know, this is the kind of package this guy needs to like save his team. Let me know in chat here what you guys think of this. Like, I think this could help the guy's team. He gets the 5 for, I would basically say 1, because like, again, he's not going to get anything for Hunter Henry. Tyreek Hill certainly isn't going to get anything from there. He gets off to Ashton Genti. I would say something along these lines is probably the best way to approach this guy. Will he do it? I have no idea. A manager like this, if he really made the team in the state that he has, and he doesn't want to trade Genti, I mean, good luck. Good luck to him. So, this is kind of one of those rare situations where you could try to get, like, effectively a 5-for-1. Again, if you got to remove Hunter Henry and Tyreek Hill from the deal, I don't really care. I think this deal would certainly improve your team, but I would like to get those Hunter Henrys back. Let me know what you think about that, Hans. Very, very interesting. One other thing, by the way, is the start 10. So just like, I don't know, Ashton Genti feels more valuable. Like, you want him on your roster, not these other contending teams. I see. Yeah, if an RB lands in a good spot at the 110, you could fill it in that way. Yeah, look, I mean, that's what he needs to bet on. Like, I wouldn't bet too hard on, like, the 110 being the way to solve running back. I would say in, like, a 10-team league, what we just packaged together here, like, it would be pretty fortunate to get, like, Ashton Genti for a price like this. And luckily it kind of does help him. I would rather solve running back this way than trying to, like, burn a 110 on a running back in this class. And that maybe should mean a lot because like I normally don't recommend like doing these Ashton Genty moves. I do think this is a perfect trade for your team in terms of like you got to get rid of these quarterbacks. You cannot have like 4 and then also even Tua there. If you do want to tweak the deal yourself, again, maybe if you believe in Tua or something like that, you could tweak it around. But it should also be a deal that helps this guy out, right? That's why he's gonna accept it. He is so down bad. My God. Let's take a look here. Yeah, the 203. Yeah, I mean, look, the 203, for all we know, you might not get, like, too much different of a player, just the way it's trending and the way people are talking about the class. The 110 looks much better in the deal, though, which is why it's important to put it in there. Do we think Chuba will be starting next year? And welcome, Sober Thoughts. Not sure if you're new around here. It's been a minute since we streamed. I don't know. Like, do I think he's starting? I would probably bet on him as like a day one starter, probably a good role. I'm not too interested in him personally, unless I'm like really down and bad at running back. So I really do believe Jonathan Brooks is like a pretty good dynasty buy low. I will say that, though everyone's been catching up on him. So like I don't know, maybe he's like almost getting, just turning into a fair price. So I really think Jonathan Brooks can contest him. If Jonathan Brooks is not who we think he is, though, then yeah, I believe Chuba would be the starter. It's a very hard question to answer. I doubt they bring anyone in through the draft. They just drafted ETN. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too low on Chuba while thinking that through, but odds are probably over 50% to start the season. It seems like they were starting him at the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, he was taking back his job from Dowdle, and also it's important to remember he had that what was it, hamstring injury that really was hampering him. And when he came back, he actually, as he got healthy, looked like himself again. So, honestly, good to think about Chuba Hubbard. I've kind of just been writing him off as a former Chuba Hubbard dynasty believer. Okay, Han, you don't believe in Tua, traded Keon Coleman for him a long time ago. Yeah, okay. Just put him in the deal then. Like, that guy, Tua's actually a valuable piece to him if he starts. Maybe you can try to flip him. I would just try to, like, throw him in there. Let me know what you think of that deal, Han, right? I mean, we're trying to get in that 3 first range. Again, the 110 in Love is, like, over the 2 first of assets. And nothing in here is worth a first, but easily any of these things could be worth a first. This could be a great package for him, but like odds are is just like maybe one of these things is really worth it. The other 2 kind of burn. Again, that's why I want you to get Hunter Henry back. And again, if you just want to remove something from the deal, that's totally fine. I almost feel bad, like being just like a third party guy for this. What is his name again? I feel bad for Scott. Like, he needs to get like multiple assets, which is why I built the deal that way. So, thanks for taking the time. Not sure what you'll do. Thought about going for Gibbs too. Yeah, we could take a look at Gibbs because I might get like I don't know, maybe it's a more realistic trade, but who owns Gibbs? Is this guy? Okay, here we go. Nathan 33. So let's throw Gibbs in here. Jordan Love. Yeah, we want to start with that Jordan Love 110 package. By the way, you never answered. Is there a tight end premium in this league? Important to know that. And Sober, yeah, you bought, Hubbard last offseason, so you're kind of stuck with him. I see. Yeah, honestly, man, it's like, I don't think anyone cares about Chuba Hubbard. So if you got him, I would just recommend just kind of like hanging on, to be completely fair. And just believing he's the starter. And the case could be like he's not the starter across the entire season. However, maybe week 1 he's the starter, has a good game, and market's up, and you can kind of flip him. So there's definitely outs on Chuba Hubbard. And so yeah, Rico just got just left the team, got the contract with the Steelers. Yeah, I think there's some potential there. Yeah, and Han, you're right about this. Gibbs guy, this like makes way more sense with this player. He needs a quarterback bad. So this is a very good trade partner. I guess an issue is like he kind of needs running back as well, but he does at least have Swift. So let's take a look at this in a moment. And Cody Welcome says Bowers for likely K9 and a late 27 first. Good question mark. 0.5 10 and premium. Interesting. How many starters, Cody? I don't want to just give you an answer without having better information on that. Because obviously K9 is an absolute smash right now. Yeah, let me know that and I'll think about it so I can get back to you on that. We can talk that one through. All right, let's take a look here. This owner has Bowers as well. You are weak at receiver. Let's see if we get Mike Evans slipped into this deal as well. All right. Oh, damn. This is loving. It's interesting sometimes to see what Keep Trade Cut says about deals. Maybe let's get this guy 2A in here too, just a sway. I don't really care too much about the value on the calculator. I don't really think that means anything, but if we cross out like Tua and Mike Evans, which I feel like should be relatively cut out here, especially for a quarterback needy team, and you can definitely argue if Tua starting is easily worth more than Mike Evans. I feel like the package of Love, 110, and Waddle gets you in Jahmyr Gibbs territory. So this feels like a pretty basic package for him. Just like, Waddle's like fringe first. You got the 110. Jordan Love's worth over a first. You're in that realm of that 3 firsts, but again, you're not like giving up any like premier asset. Like the 110 and Waddle, people are not dying to get those. If you want to see the tight end premium setting, you just go to setting, scoring, and then in Sleeper, it'll say like tight end bonus. That's how you can see if there's a tight end premium. This is what I would recommend, just like shooting out here first. You get your receiver back for Waddle. As you're missing some depth, you'll still have that 103 to work with. Obviously, there's going to be a receiver there if you make the pick in the rookie draft. You get rid of your quarterback depth. This would be what I would recommend. Again, I had no guarantee that manager would accept this, but it's in the realm for that manager. Let's just see. I mean, hey, and you can also join our Discord. I would recommend joining our Discord. 0.5 premium. Okay, perfect. Good to know that it actually is a tight end premium. Does this guy have a tight end that we can throw back? Okay, perfect. He's got Gunnar Helm. Let's make this deal a little bit more. I mean, you could always like try to put Brenton Strange in there. People really like Brenton Strange though. Gunnar Helm, no one really cares about him. He's currently the starting tight end for the Titans. He had really good numbers. Like had the same targets per route run as Tyler Warren. A solid yards per route run. I would strongly recommend like buying Gunnar Helm cheap just to anyone. Maybe we could just like throw in like a 4. I don't know. It's hard to like sit here and not know anything about the league and like try to give a package, but like you can always tweak the deal. I would just say like something in this realm right here would be a very fun package. You probably have to add a little bit. If you do, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. Maybe you got to, like, send this second and ask for, like, something else back or a third back. I would say, like, you could try to send it like this, the 4 for 2. If you won't do it, you could try to send the 203. And then I would value, like, in a tight end premium, Helm as, like, a lot of people wouldn't want it, but I would value him, like, close to that late second, early third. I would easily pay for him. So you could, like, try to kind of counter with something like this to add that value. He would definitely want the 203 for Helm. I don't know. Trying to do my best here to help you out without knowing anything about the league. You can let me know what you think about that offer, but you'll probably need to send at least this to get in that Jahmyr Gibbs range. All right, Cody, start 9. Okay, that's very, very, very important to know. God, start. I don't even play in a start 9 because I cut it off at start 10s. Start 9 is very shallow. Actually, I do because I play in a 14 team that's league that is start 9. What I would say is, like, it is very important if you own Bowers to protect him in a league like that, even if it's only 0.5 premium. God, it really depends on that first, man. Like, if that first is the championship team, he's an absolute beast. I think I got to tell you to hold Bowers, man. Like, I think I got to absolutely still. It's a good payout for Bowers. So if your team is not in contending, I'll say this: if you're a contending team, Bowers fits in perfectly. In a start 9, you can hold him if you own him. But if you're a stacked up team, again, I don't even know what side Bowers on, so maybe just, like, start by giving that. I would say, like, I would definitely consider sending that for Bowers if you were, like, stacked in a start 9 league. I'm leaning this Bowers side. If this was a start 10 or 11, though, like, that could very well flip sides for me. I love getting the packages, and I think that would roughly equal around Brock Bowers, but leaning Brock Bowers for the start 9 easily right now. Jacob agrees. I think you gave me some ideas. Curious to see how Golden does with Dobbs gone. Yeah, Golden is a good name, right? In Dynasty to just see. There's no guarantees. That's kind of what you got to sell that manager on if you want to include him in the deal. Not a bad guy for you to hold on to, but again, you can always tweak this deal with some similar players. This is a good baseline, though, Han, of what you could expect to pay for Jahmyr Gibbs or Genty, a player like that. Cody, what side? Oh, yeah, Bowers was on your rebuilding team. I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Here, if you tell me your league, Cody, I can pull up your league just to get an idea of your team. You gotta drop your sleeper username, drop your league name. Maybe I can take a closer look and see if I have any suggestions. Because again, every team is different. Every league's different. Maybe it is a good deal if you own Bowers to do that 3 for 1, depending on how your team looks. I don't want to just, like, give you a generic answer. And Han saying, "Am I a Vikings fan?" Diggs jersey in the back. I absolutely am a Vikings fan. Did good. Thought you built a decent squad. Appreciate that. Yeah, you got a good squad going here. Again, I'd be interested with your 103. By the way, like, this is a really good way. Like, if you need to take a different route on getting Gibbs or Genty, if the managers in your league are in like a normal league, they value the 103. You could go like 103 and like Willis or Shuck to go get Genty or something. Or then maybe you gotta add like a little bit somewhere else. But like 103 and like a first should get you in like Genty conversations. So these quarterbacks are worth a first. Again, it is only 10-team league, so the quarterback value is down. That is actually probably pretty important to note in these trade negotiations. I've been talking about this like it's a 12-team league because I don't play in 10-team leagues. So I would say actually this package right here, I would definitely expect you to actually have to add a little bit more just because of the format, just to give you an idea. And hey, you're from Minnesota. I am actually from Winnipeg, which if you're in Minnesota, I'm probably sure you know what that is. Just straight north of you, down a single road, brings me down to Minnesota. Full tilt, full team. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up Cody's team. Okay, so you did the trade. Let's take a look at your team, though. Team Cody. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's probably not your gamer tag. Okay, just give me your gamer tag. Or not your gamer tag. Your sleeper username, Cody. And then I see your league name. But I need your username first. And we'll take a look at how your team is doing. And hey, yeah, Han, if you want to stay in touch with us and just like get advice from not only me but like other awesome people that we play with that are part of the community, we have the Discord linked in the description. If you click on that, it'll bring you to our Discord. There's like it's a pretty new like small Discord, but like people will answer, we'll answer. It's the best way to get in touch with us. So like you could go and like send these offers out, get some responses, and always we can help you like build some deals out if that interests you. Tokarski. Wait. All right. We will take a look here. All right, so good to know. They think you are the 4th most valuable team. And this is a 12-team league. So you're gooped up on picks. That's good. Yep, 27's going. And so you just traded Bowers into likely the 27 first. Kenneth Walker. All right, let's see. All right, Sussex QB a little bit, but Jackson Dart at least is holding it. K9 is your only back. Good receiver room with the top 2 and some depth behind it. Likely your starter. Okay. Interesting. See, yeah, knowing that you're in this rebuild, you need to gain some value. I don't mind this trade for you like at all. Like I think it kind of like equals Bowers in value. I think the one thing I would say though is like instead of trading for Kenneth Walker, it's already done. But what I would have said is like instead of trading for Kenneth Walker after he signs with the Chiefs, which I'm so excited about, I probably would have like tried to go a different way. How do I get like a quarterback out of Brock Bowers? Like I think that would be like more important. And maybe you could throw Bryce Young into the deal to like give him a quarterback back. And instead of like, yeah, you're doing the same package. Instead of K9, you're getting like maybe it's like Jordan Love, like a Brock Purdy, a quarterback like that. But you could add in Bryce Young, and maybe you get like a running back like Tootin, just to throw a name, just like guys in that range back. So I mean that would be my nitpick on the deal. I don't know your league here, but overall wise, I think you do worse. Again, you can always look to like flip Kenneth Walker. What I would say is like one of my favorite things is like to be trying to contend with a bunch of future picks in. it does feel like a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, really, you just need like a running back to give yourself a chance. So, again, I don't like a team like this. You're not like too far off from just giving yourself a chance. I'm not saying you're going in full contending, but like, um, it would be interesting to see if you could kind of turn this into like a sneaky little contender, um, for sure. Any suggestions on QB? Yeah, a lot of players aren't active. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a tough part. So I'll try to give you like more generic advice than trying to tell you what team to go to. Um, I'm not a big Bryce Young guy. He could be the guy. He could be a decent like. I would say just hold on to Tua. See if he's a starter. That's a nice QB3 to have. No one will want him probably. Try your best to get off Bryce Young would be my advice. Can you turn him into like I would rather have Malik Willis, for example. Like, does someone in your league think he's selling high on Malik Willis? I would just rather bet on that. I don't even care if Malik Willis busts. Like, Bryce Young got benched for Andy Dalton, whatever it was, like in the second season. And the only reason he got his job back was because Andy Dalton got in a car accident, broke his wrist. Now, again, Bryce Young came back and started cooking. But, like, he was a nightmare in fantasy last year if you owned him. I mean, he was like a league loser. So, he can get better. I'm not a big fan. I would try to flip him basically into any quarterback not named Bryce Young in the same realm. I'd be willing to add a little bit. I'd be willing to tear down off him if there's any starters that are cheaper than him, not named J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix right now. I mean, maybe you could be interested in Michael Penix. You have Tua, so you could have both Falcons guys. Maybe you can get Penix plus for Bryce Young. Yeah. That would be probably my best suggestion is like try to get off to QB2. Try to get like a real solution at QB2. Again, don't mind paying up. Maybe I don't know what the plan is with Kenneth Walker that you had in mind getting him, other than the fact that he's just a good asset to have. What I would say overall, looking at your team though, again, you have these 27 firsts. To me, it's like, okay, look at these assets you have right here. Maybe you have to make like your 306 and 406 pick. But I'd be looking for options to like add players, and again, just build a like an average starting lineup. Try to be mid. Try to go from 10 to 6 or 7. And if you can just hit, maybe it's Kyle Managa, you get a surprise from someone in season, you'll have an option to like trade these 27 firsts in, and maybe you're a contender. I think you kind of have 1 foot in, 1 foot out would be my general advice for you with a team in this spot. Yeah. The only other thing I would say is like you could look to like get off of JS. It would be interesting. You could look to get off like JSN for like Jefferson and a first. Again, I don't really know like if people would actually do that, but that's kind of what the market would suggest. You could get a deal done like that. Jefferson or Lamb and a first. If you could like actually do that, that's like a no-brainer on a team like this to me, as good as JSN is. I just think it would make your overall team better. Yeah, maybe if that's fine if you disagree, but I think that would really speed up your rebuild here. Again, you could be contending this season. You just took the team over going like 3 weeks ago. It was in rough shape. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense then. If you just took the team over, best thing to do, is get making moves. So, I don't mind that. If you just took the team over, that 1 foot in, 1 foot out is kind of my favorite here. Your team's not bad enough to like completely be trying to rebuild. Again, in season, if you're losing, yes, okay, start flipping things. But you are in a decent spot, so it sucks if no one wants to give you JSN or what he's worth. But again, keep trying to look, and try to get an idea of what people do value. I guess you found that out in Bowers, which is probably why you traded him, which makes much more sense. People are probably crazy about K9. Again, you could look to try and get a deal done with him if you absolutely need to. I hope that helps. Yeah, let me know if you got any other questions, but I guess this is like a mini like free advertisement for, we were saying earlier, when Han was asking about us like taking a look at his team. We are in our Discord. If you're interested, you can contact us. Dan and I, two of the most detail oriented Dynasty players you'll ever find. We will we call it roster rehab. We will, for only $20, look at your league, look at your team, and give a very in-depth detail of how we would approach your team, things to do, players to target, all that good stuff. And we'll basically make that into a video. Again, give some written feedback as well, and notes. Great way if you're kind of, not sure what you want to do. Is like, Cody, if you want a more in-depth idea of what to do with this team, like that's something we could do. We could take a look, a much more detailed look, and try to, get your team in contention here, or ready for the future. So he said, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Join the Discord. Again, you got questions in there, trade stuff. Best way to reach us. Again, not just us replying. Other people will reply in there. Jacob was in here earlier. Randy was in here earlier. I am going to sign off, though. I just realized how late it is. But again, if you actually do want, like if you want any advice, again, what I was saying, we are doing, the whole roster review thing, the startup buddy strategy, or the startup buddy service as well. If anyone needs help in a startup, the startup man will help you. And yeah, if you got any questions in general, Discord's perfect place to go for it. I am going to sign off here, but appreciate, having Han, Cody, all the new names in here. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see you in the Discord. Appreciate it.